Welcome to On Air with Kate Butler, where we are revealing life's best kept secrets. Welcome back to On Air with Kate Butler, where we are revealing life's best kept secrets. Today, we have an incredible guest for you. I am so excited to introduce to you Candice Shepard. As the co-founder and CEO of Aurora Network, Candice Shepard stands at the intersection of faith, leadership, and transformational coaching. A certified success coach, accomplished author, and dynamic speaker, Candice has dedicated her life to empowering Christian women to step boldly into their God-given purpose. Under Candice's leadership, Aurora Network has become a beacon of hope and excellence in the Christian coaching community. Candice, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's so good to be here. Great to see you.
I am so excited that you are here. I want to talk about all things Aurora Network and this incredible intersection of faith, leadership, and transformation. Before we dive into all of this, I really would love to ask you if there was a defining moment in your life that shaped where you are today, so we can get some kind of context around how this came about for you.
So yeah, there's been a lot, right? You can't get to my age without there being a lot, and I think probably the first defining moment was when I was a teenager, and things were just really hard in my little world, and I didn't know how I was going to continue with what was happening and how I was navigating my life, and just really leaned into the Lord and to my faith, and the things around me didn't get better, but the things inside me did, and I realized that there was more to it, more to this life, and more to healing and growing and living and loving and all the things, life this side of heaven that I had to do. So that was the start of this sort of trajectory to be where I am now.
Wow. And so a lot of people, talk about, the beliefs that drive us, but was there a belief that you had to let go of that allowed you to propel to where you are right now?
There's a lot of beliefs that I think we, especially as women, and
Mhm.
high achieving women, especially have to let go of, and it's the shoulds. I say to my clients and my friends all the time, stop shoulding all over yourself. There's never a I should be doing this or I should not be doing that. I don't think. I think the core belief that I had to come to was that I'm on my own path, and the things that I'm doing to accomplish the goals that I want to accomplish, and the dreams that have been placed on my heart it's right. Whether no matter what society says, no matter what X, Y, and Z say, what you're doing is it's your path. So I had to let go of that.
That is very helpful, I think, for a lot of women. And I think that a lot of times it's because we have a certain image of success in our minds, and that's where all of the obligations or shoulds come from. So,
Yeah.
what would you say that the biggest, what, in your opinion, I guess, or kind of your understanding, what is the biggest misconception of success that you think people have?
I think my personal opinion is the biggest misconception about success is that it's a one size fits all sort of package.
Mhm.
Success looks like this and that's it.
Mm.
I think that's nonsense. I think success looks like how you define it in your life, and how the dreams and the goals and the plans and the hopes and all that, how what was placed on your heart is what you need to pursue success as. And don't let anybody else define that for you.
Yes. And this is deeply rooted in Christian coaching, right? Is what this Aurora Network is deeply rooted in. So how has your faith or your spirituality played a role like in this journey? And I want to know more about this. I want to know more about how this plays a role in past, present, future. Like how does this walk beside you and what role does it play?
So I mean, I should start by saying that it's a little bit unusual, I think, to be in the corporate culture and then also in the coaching culture. They're diametrically opposed institutions. And I've been in both, and I've been in military culture, and I've been, like there's a whole lot of things in this world that don't align with the life coaching community, and I think that's a little bit tragic because the life coaching community really embraces the holistic human, what makes us laugh and cry, what lights us on fire, what do we get excited about, what traumas need to heal so that we can move on to the next thing. And I really like that culture, and I really like the integration of that into corporate and military and trauma healing. And what I saw from my perspective is that there was a gap in the Christian community in layering that faith piece on top of that beautiful community of coaching. And so my faith is very integral. It has been part of building every business I've built. It's been part of overcoming the traumas that I've overcome. It's been part of seeking the successes that I'm seeking for myself, and building the sort of life vision statement for my life that I have. And so my thought was, why are we not integrating this into the life coaching space, and layering that faith piece on top of the very, very valid theories and whatnot of coaching, the psychology and all of it that goes into it, the brain mapping. It's such a beautiful combination. And when you layer that faith piece on there, when faith is important to you or you want faith to be important to you, it's just a whole nother level of healing and growth and pursuing and living. It's just really cool.
Mm. And so tell us about this Aurora Network now. How does it work?
So we approached Aurora as a two-pronged mission. We
Yes.
wanted to build a company that supported coaches in doing what they do best. Coaches by nature are nurturers and creatives and people who don't necessarily embrace the business culture, that's a pretty sweeping generalization. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but by default, we want to nurture and we want to pour into others. And we saw that there was a space for a company to create the business foundation to give that coach the ability to do what she does best. So we wanted to do that. And then the other piece of it was we really wanted to make sure that we were honoring our faith and our Jesus and our mission to empower women in both of those aspects, and from the perspective of having really great life coaches that people could tap into, but also making sure that faith was part of it.
Okay. So if somebody is interested, how do they begin to work with you?
There are so many ways to plug into the Aurora Network, but the thing that we suggest first is run on over to our website. Check us out, read our bios, look at the coaches, read the blog, watch the podcasts, do all the things. And there's so many forms on there if you want to be a coach or if you want to receive coaching or you want to do both. There's ways to get in touch with us that way. So the website is auroranetwork.life. And that's the greatest way to catch up with us.
I love that. So that's perfect. So we talked about successes. And a lot of times when people hear you and they read your bio and understand, you've been in corporate, you've done all these amazing things in your career, right? And you've overcome a lot personally that really defines you to, as a success, if you will. So I think a lot of times this question helps people connect and see themselves in you, where they can begin to really deeply relate. Like, was there a time in this journey of yours where you did feel like giving up?
Oh, girl. Whew, let me tell you, was there not a time? Um,
Okay, good answer.
yeah, I love that question because sometimes people look at who Candice is on paper and
Right.
think, oh my gosh, she's done all these things, and that's great. I love the connection from that perspective, but there's you don't get to where I am without failing numerous times
Mm.
and just being willing to get back up again. And with Aurora in particular, my business partner and I, Liz O'Brien, we sort of joke that without each other, we wouldn't have made it this far, and only one of us is allowed to want to quit at a time. And
Okay.
we say all the time, "Well, I'll let you cry, but I won't let you quit." So we
Mhm.
say that with our coaches, we say that with our clients, and we say it with each other.
Mhm.
You're gonna want to set things down and walk away because it's exhausting doing the things that define you as success for you and define you as a human. It can be exhausting. So you can cry, but you can't quit.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And so we do talk about some applicable things that people can do here on the show that they might be able to take away. So tell us about, Candace's life. Like if I can like take a little sneak peek in, what are maybe some things that you do on a daily basis or some, just tips in general, maybe that somebody might be able to apply to their life to help them get, maybe over the finish line or just even one step forward.
A few years ago, I had to take a really hard look at my life, and by society's standards, I had a very successful journey. But I had to say, you know what, I'm exhausted. I'm having health issues. I'm not happy, and had to step back from some of the grind, and I had to let some things go. I had to let some things go that were very important to me, and but weren't serving the vision of what my life was going to look like. So
Mhm.
even though it was a painful and a challenging time to let those things go, I had to do that. And I say that not lightly. I prayed over it and cried tears over it for months before I said, okay, I have to let this go. A lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, a lot of quiet time, and a lot of healing. I've had, at any one time in my life, I have a therapist and a coach, frequently more than one. And I have a great support network.
So
You
important.
have to be able to say, I'm too tired. I can't do this right now. I need somebody to support me for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So critical and so important. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And so when we do start down this road of this journey of growth, right? Looking at ourselves, beginning to unpack things, and we're on this upward trajectory, if you will. I feel like a lot of times we can step into a place of self-doubt, a place of maybe even like imposter syndrome, like
Yeah.
why me? Or, is this for me? That type of thing. So what would you, first of all, can you relate to that? And if so, what advice would you be able to offer there?
I can absolutely relate to that. And the best advice I can give you is accountability. You have to have somebody that's going to look at you and say, if you don't believe in yourself, take my belief for a minute. You are absolutely capable of doing this. And you have to be able to have that person to bounce ideas off of. You also, and in my faith walk, I've realized that the more I'm doing that's right, the greater the attacks of the enemy. So be in a place where you're comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because you're just not, anything worth doing is not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be a straight line to success. There's going to be challenges, and you have to find your grit and your I'm not giving up, and you have to have somebody that will remind you who you are.
Absolutely. And so you're obviously a highly ambitious person, but you also have this beautiful grounded and peacefulness about you. How do you find a balance between these two things?
Um, I, it sounds trite, but just because you have to. When you're not grounded, yeah, when you're not grounded and peaceful, and I've been in a place where I'm not grounded and peaceful, and I'm very unpleasant to be around. And I recognize that in myself, that if I don't take that time to get grounded and peaceful and find my calm in the middle of storms, I'm horrible to be around, and I have to be around myself all the time, let
Mhm.
alone the people that I love
Mhm.
being not pleasant to be around. So you I guess figure out for you what that balance looks like and how you achieve that. For me, again, it's that support network, it's getting
Yeah.
outside and seeing the sun and walking, it's
Yeah.
my
Yes.
critters, it's a lot of prayer, it's music. It's just the things that bring me peace are the things that I have to make sure I infuse into my day every day.
Yeah, every day. Yes, absolutely. And so finish this sentence for me if you would. The Aurora Network is for the person who,
Well, I will back up just a tiny bit. The Aurora Network is for the woman who, because right now we are only serving
right?
women, but it is for the woman who knows that she has more in her than what she is exhibiting to the world and in her life. She knows she was created for more. She knows that the exhaustion is not the way she wants to live. She knows that there's a dream in her
Yeah.
that she needs to pursue. Yeah,
Beautiful. You mentioned the website, and that's the best place to really get started in all of the variety of places that people can plug into the Aurora Network. Is that also the best way to get in touch with you, Candice?
it is. It
Great.
is. And we have also just put a new free download on there that's really neat. We're really proud of it.
You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's the Christian Woman's Guide to Finding Her Purpose, and it's a really neat little exercise. It won't take you long, but it'll change your life, and it'll at least get you started thinking about what you want to do next.
I absolutely love it. Candice, thank you so much for being here today.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Incredible, incredible episode. You are welcome. You are welcome back anytime. And thank all of you for joining this episode of On Air with Kate Butler, where we are revealing life's best kept secrets. And Candice Shepard has certainly done that today, and all the incredible advice that she has so generously offered to us in her story sharing, in her guidance, in her company, and all that is going to continue to unfold there, and the tremendous, beautiful impact that that will make on so many women worldwide. I'm really excited to see where that goes. I felt that sentence, and when Candice finished it, and if you did too, if you felt that somewhere inside of you, a little twinge, a little tweak, a little pull, a little shift. Okay. That means that, there's probably something inside of you that wants to reach out, that wants to connect with Candice, that wants to know more. And I really want to encourage you to follow that and to do that. That's what it's all about here on this podcast, is meeting incredible people, meeting incredible guests like Candice, getting an insight into revealing, their life's best kept secrets. And then how do we then align with them? And is there something about that that we can also connect with in our own life? So if you feel called to connect with Candice, I highly, highly recommend that you do so. You'll be so happy that you did. Thank you so much for being on this episode with us. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for listening today. I would love to connect with you on social, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Kate Butler Books. If you're interested in accessing some life-changing tools and techniques, you can grab those right off of the homepage of my website for free, and that is katebutlerbooks.com. And you can always check back here to download new episodes from our podcast right here where you listen today. Until next time, thank you for making this world a better place just by being you.